Did you know that the federal government owes millions of Social Security beneficiaries money that was never properly paid? It's true. And if you've ever wondered why your checks sometimes feel smaller than they should be, or why delays happen without explanation, you are not alone. Today, we're going to walk through the new April Social Security check schedule and why every single beneficiary should review it carefully. More importantly, we'll talk about the money that the government needs to pay back. And this isn't just numbers on a page. This is your retirement security. This is your hard-earned money. Before we dive in, I want to say hello to everyone watching today. If you rely on Social Security, or if you know someone who does, make sure you subscribe. I share updates like this every week so you don't miss a beat. Let's start with the big concern many seniors are hearing about. You might have read headlines that say Social Security is facing cuts, or that the government is struggling to meet obligations. There's truth in some of it, but there's also confusion. Many people assume delays mean there's a problem with their account, when often it's just administrative timing. What's more concerning is that the federal government has withheld money that belongs to beneficiaries over the years. That's right, money that should have been paid has sometimes been misallocated or delayed. And while it may not make the evening news, it directly affects your life. Here's what this means for you. Social Security payments are carefully scheduled, but they are tied to your birth date, and sometimes the distribution dates change slightly when weekends or holidays get involved. For April 2026, the payment schedule is designed to make sure all eligible beneficiaries get paid without unnecessary delay. But if you haven't double-checked your exact date, you could be left wondering when that money hits your account. For example, if your birthday falls on the 1st through the 10th of the month, Social Security deposits generally arrive on a Wednesday. If your birthday is between the 11th and 20th, it's a Thursday. And for birthdays between the 21st and 31st, deposits usually arrive on a Friday. April has one of those weeks where timing can get tricky because the first Wednesday falls on the 2nd. That's why it's crucial to double-check the schedule directly with Social Security. Now, you might be thinking, I've seen this before. Why is it such a big deal this year? Here's why. Over the last several decades, there have been systemic issues where the government failed to correctly account for certain adjustments, like cost of living increases or delayed payments from stimulus packages. Some beneficiaries missed out on hundreds or even thousands of dollars over time. The government owes that money back, and it's coming to light now more than ever. Let's talk numbers. Suppose you've been receiving a monthly Social Security check of $1,800. If there were missed COLA adjustments over the last 3 years, you could be owed an extra $300 or more per month retroactively. That adds up to several $1,000s. And while Social Security is making efforts to correct these errors, the exact timing can vary by individual. This is where reviewing the schedule becomes not just a convenience, but a necessity. Many retirees get confused when they see a payment arrive later than expected. It's easy to assume there's a problem with your bank or your account, but often it's just a normal timing issue. Social Security uses a staggered deposit system to manage millions of payments efficiently. But if the federal government is behind in paying back owed funds, the delays can be longer than usual. So what should you do right now? First, check your personal Social Security account online. Make sure your direct deposit information is current. Confirm the exact date your April payment will arrive. And note any special adjustments that might apply to your situation. For example, if you live in a state with additional supplemental programs, those payments might arrive on a different day than your federal Social Security check. Here's an important point. Some seniors might be owed back payments from overpayments that were reversed or misapplied. If you ever received a notice that your benefits were adjusted, double-check those figures. Mistakes happen, and they are not always automatically corrected. This is where staying proactive can pay off in real dollars. Take Mary, for example. Mary lives in Phoenix and started Social Security at 62. She received her standard monthly check for the last few years, but when she reviewed her account online, she discovered she was owed back payments from missed COLA adjustments. By contacting Social Security and verifying her account, Mary was able to secure a retroactive payment that added nearly $4,500 to her savings. That's life-changing money for a senior living on a fixed income. And it's not just COLA or retroactive adjustments. Sometimes stimulus payments or special federal programs intersect with Social Security in ways that can delay or alter payments. That's why understanding your individual schedule is so important. One small mistake in timing can mean waiting weeks longer for money that belongs to you. Now, let's talk about the new April schedule specifically. Social Security has been transparent about this schedule, but many beneficiaries still overlook the details. April 2026 payments will follow the standard staggered system, but there are a few quirks. If you receive SSI along with Social Security, your payments may arrive on a different day. SSI recipients typically get payments on the first of the month, unless that day falls on a weekend, in which case the payment is moved up to the last business day of the previous month. That means some people might get paid late March for what is technically their April benefit. For standard Social Security recipients, keep these dates in mind. Birthdays 1st to 10th, deposit on Wednesday, April 2nd. Birthdays 11th to 20th, deposit on Thursday, April 10th. Birthdays 21st to 31st, deposit on Friday, April 18th. Mark these dates on your calendar and set a reminder. This is where many people get confused. Even a single missed payment can create unnecessary stress, especially if you rely on your monthly income for rent, utilities, or medical bills. Another important factor to understand is the difference between your scheduled payment date and the actual posting date. Sometimes banks take an extra day or two to process the funds. If your check doesn't appear on your account on the exact date listed, don't panic. Wait 24 hours and then confirm with your bank. Only contact Social Security if the delay exceeds a few days. Now let's address the elephant in the room, government accountability. Many seniors feel frustrated because it seems like Social Security funds are constantly at risk of mismanagement. And in some ways, that concern is valid. There are millions of dollars that should have been in beneficiaries' accounts years ago. That's why it's crucial to stay informed, check your accounts regularly, and take action if something seems off. Here's another practical tip. Keep a running record of your payments. Write down the amount received each month and the date it hits your account. Compare this to the official schedule. If you notice discrepancies, contact Social Security immediately. Having a documented history strengthens your case if adjustments are needed. Let's discuss how back payments are usually handled. Social Security can issue retroactive payments in a lump sum, but it can take weeks to process. This is particularly true if there are multiple years of missed adjustments. So, if you're expecting back payments, don't assume they'll arrive with your regular April check. They may come separately and sometimes in multiple deposits. Take John, for example. John lives in Miami and started Social Security at 64. He recently discovered he was owed back payments from missed adjustments over the last 5 years. Social Security processed a lump sum, but it arrived in 2 separate deposits a week apart. John had to be patient, but ultimately, the total added over $6,000 to his savings. That kind of money can cover unexpected medical bills or help a senior stay independent longer. Now, let's talk about state assistance programs. Some states add supplemental benefits for low-income seniors, veterans, or those on fixed incomes. These payments are separate from Social Security but can affect how you plan your monthly budget. For example, in California, some seniors receive additional state supplements that arrive on the 3rd of each month. In Florida, supplemental programs may be added directly to your Social Security payment. Understanding these schedules ensures you never overdraw your account or miss a critical payment. Budgeting is more important than ever. If you've been relying on Social Security for day-to-day expenses, knowing the exact dates your money arrives can prevent overdrafts or late fees. Consider using automatic bill payments aligned with your Social Security schedule. That way, your essential expenses are covered, even if there's a slight delay in processing. One more point to remember. Social Security is also responsible for processing benefit increases when Congress approves them. Any adjustment, including COLA or stimulus-related increases, takes time to show up in your account. You might see a small discrepancy in April that will be corrected in May. Don't be alarmed. This is standard procedure. Finally, let's touch on what to do if you suspect the government owes you more than what you receive. First, gather all your documentation, payment statements, notices from Social Security, bank records. Then, contact Social Security directly. Be specific about what you believe is owed. Many people hesitate to do this, thinking it's complicated, but Social Security has dedicated staff to handle these claims. Your persistence can result in significant payments that you have every right to receive. So, to summarize the first part, Social Security payments for April 2026 follow a staggered schedule. Birthdays 1 to 10 get Wednesday, April 2nd. Birthdays 11 to 20 get Thursday, April 10th. Birthdays 21 to 31 get Friday, April 18th. Check your account, verify your direct deposit, and make sure any back payments or missed adjustments are documented. Keep track of any state supplements or SSI payments that might arrive on a different day. And remember, if the federal government owes you money, be proactive in claiming it. The big takeaway: your Social Security check is guaranteed, but the timing and exact amount can vary depending on past adjustments, state programs, and retroactive payments. Stay informed, keep records, and act if something seems off. That's how you protect your retirement security. Social Security handles millions of payments every month. Each payment is tied to your work history, your birth date, and your eligibility for adjustments like COLA or supplemental programs. When you start your benefits at 62, as many retirees do, your payment is reduced compared to what you would receive if you waited until full retirement age. But even after you start, the system is supposed to adjust payments based on your age, income, and any special federal provisions. Here's the tricky part. Sometimes the system miscalculates. This can happen when there are stimulus programs, changes in Medicare premiums, or new federal legislation affecting benefits. If you've ever noticed a slight increase or decrease in your check that doesn't match your expectations, it's likely due to these adjustments. The government's goal is to correct these over time, but delays happen. Let's take the example of David in Chicago. David started Social Security at 63. He received a COLA adjustment in January, but his bank statement showed a smaller increase than expected. David contacted Social Security and learned that some of his payments had been applied incorrectly due to an error in processing his Medicare premiums. Once corrected, David's check increased by $175 per month, plus a retroactive adjustment of $2,100. That's money he wasn't expecting, but absolutely deserved. It's important to note that Social Security is legally required to pay you everything you've earned. That includes any back payments for missed adjustments or miscalculations. Unfortunately, the system isn't perfect, and sometimes seniors have to be persistent to get what they're owed. That's why reviewing your account every month is critical. April is particularly important because it's early in the second quarter. Social Security often adjusts payments at this time to account for any retroactive changes from the start of the year. That means if there were delays or miscalculations in January through March, April could include lump sum corrections. Some seniors see multiple deposits, which can be confusing if they don't understand why it's happening. Here's a practical step for every beneficiary. Set up a simple spreadsheet or notebook where you track each deposit. Record the date, the amount, and any notes about adjustments. This habit makes it easier to spot discrepancies and provides a clear record if you need to contact Social Security. Another thing to be aware of is how state programs interact with federal payments. Some states automatically adjust supplemental payments when federal payments change. Others require a separate application. If you live in a state like New York, California, or Minnesota, supplemental payments might arrive at the same time as your Social Security check. In other states, they could be delayed by a few days or even weeks. Knowing this in advance helps you plan your monthly budget without surprises. Let's talk about eligibility issues. Some seniors worry that taking Social Security early, at 62, could prevent them from qualifying for future adjustments or back payments. That's a misconception. Even if you start early, you're still entitled to COLA adjustments and retroactive payments if the government owes you. The difference is in how your monthly payment is calculated. Early benefits are smaller, but back payments and adjustments are calculated based on your earned benefits, not just your reduced early payment. Now, here's where many people get confused: payment timing versus eligibility timing. Your payment might be delayed, but that doesn't mean you lose your eligibility. Social Security keeps a detailed record of every beneficiary's account. If a payment is late, it will usually be made up in the next cycle, sometimes with a small adjustment to compensate for the delay. Let's look at a real-world scenario. Linda in Atlanta noticed her April payment didn't arrive on the expected Thursday. She panicked, thinking her benefits were cut. She called her bank, confirmed the account was fine, and then called Social Security. They explained that because of a retroactive adjustment from a COLA correction, her payment was delayed by 2 days. Once the payment posted, Linda received not just her standard April check, but also a small retroactive correction. This is why understanding both the schedule and the reason behind adjustments is crucial. It's also worth mentioning the role of federal stimulus and supplemental payments. Over the last few years, several stimulus packages and COVID-related adjustments affected Social Security. Some seniors received extra funds automatically. Others had to file claims. Sometimes these payments interact with regular Social Security deposits in ways that can cause confusion. For example, if a retroactive stimulus payment is added to your monthly check, it can appear as two separate deposits in the same month. Don't be alarmed. This is normal. Now, let's discuss the core pain point many seniors are feeling: government accountability. There's a growing call from advocacy groups for Congress to pass laws ensuring that any mismanaged or withheld Social Security funds must be repaid immediately. This is a serious issue because it affects millions of seniors nationwide. When the government owes you money, it's not just an abstract figure. It's your groceries, your medications, your rent. Knowing your rights and reviewing your account regularly is the best way to ensure you don't lose what you've earned. Here's a step-by-step checklist for protecting yourself. Log into your Social Security account online. Make sure your personal information and direct deposit details are accurate. Review your payment history for the last 12 months. Look for discrepancies or missing adjustments. Note your April payment date according to the schedule. Compare it with previous months. If you see any discrepancies, contact Social Security immediately. Keep a record of your communication. Consider state supplemental benefits and how they may affect your total monthly income. Track payments in a notebook or spreadsheet for clarity. Even with careful tracking, sometimes delays happen. Banks need time to process deposits, and Social Security occasionally experiences high call volumes or processing backlogs. Patience is important, but so is persistence. One more thing to consider: budgeting around payment timing. Many seniors rely on Social Security as their primary source of income. By knowing exactly when deposits will arrive, you can schedule bills, rent, and healthcare payments to avoid overdrafts or late fees. Aligning your financial obligations with your payment schedule reduces stress and ensures financial stability. Let's revisit April specifically. Birthdays 1 to 10 receive payments on April 2nd. Birthdays 11 to 20 receive payments on April 10th. Birthdays 21 to 31 receive payments on April 18th. Remember, if you are receiving SSI or state supplements, check with your local office because those dates may differ. Another tip: watch for changes from Congress or Social Security announcements. Occasionally, new legislation or administrative updates can affect your schedule. If you subscribe to alerts or check your Social Security account regularly, you'll get updates before your check is delayed. Knowledge is your best defense. Finally, remember this: the federal government is legally obligated to pay every penny you've earned. That includes past missed adjustments, COLA increases, and any retroactive payments you're entitled to. You have the right to claim it, and you should. Many seniors wait too long or assume it's complicated, but taking proactive steps can secure thousands of dollars. In practical terms, your April Social Security check is more than just money. It's stability. It's freedom to cover essential expenses, medical care, and daily living costs. By understanding the schedule, monitoring your account, and tracking potential back payments, you ensure that the government fulfills its obligation to you.